right.
What's that?
Is it the camera?
Sometimes I still can't believe I'm somebody's mother. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marissa. I'm a first-time mama, and today I'm going to be doing a recap of the first year of my motherhood journey. A little past the first year, but I'm just getting around to filming this video now because I just wanted to kind of collect all my thoughts and my notes. So we're going to jump right into it on my journey and my calling to motherhood. I've always felt like I meant to be a mom. Since I met my husband when we were 16, I was like, I'm gonna be a mom. So if you don't want kids, like, we need to figure this out because I want kids. But yeah, because I just always felt like on my heart I have been meant and been called to be a mom. I feel like that is one of my main purposes of life, and that's between me and the Lord. That's what I feel like He's called me here to do. So I know everyone's a little different on their journey of motherhood, but for me, I know I am meant to be dedicated and giving it my all. I often get called extra, and I'm okay with that. I live with that title. Some people may think it's extra. I think it's just Marissa. So yeah, that's really been my calling into motherhood. I just always knew I was meant to be a mom, and going through the first year knowing that, it really helped my mental, because when I was struggling, I told myself, like, you know, you're meant to do this. Even if it's hard, you are still meant to go through it and you'll get through it. So with that being said, like, our baby boy was planned. We were kind of just giving it to God and His plan and His timing. So we prayed on it a lot. I believe we were like on a 9-month journey of that, of just kind of waiting on God's timing and God's plan. And then that's when I got pregnant with Elijah in May 2024, and then gave birth to him in January 2025. And a part of my journey to motherhood was actually going through a loss. I didn't really talk about this at all online, but before getting pregnant with Elijah, I was pregnant and I did experience a miscarriage, and I definitely could do a more in-depth video on that, because I'm at a place now where I feel like I can open up about it and like speak my testimony and my journey on that. So let me know if you guys want more of that, because I do know it's not just a personal struggle I went through. A lot of women have gone through that and may go through it. So it's something I definitely feel like is a part of my testimony. So now I want to share some things about my motherhood journey, and I don't want to say like the things that no one talks about, because people do talk about these, but things that I always thought like were maybe a one-off experience to some people that definitely were still an experience for me. I always thought it was like very rare that some of these things that I went through were happening to some women, but like I feel like it actually is a lot more common than we think. So the first one is that like loss of identity that I feel like a lot of women talk about, like losing yourself, becoming a mom. For me and my personal experience, the way I think about it is that it's supposed to happen. Some women think differently on this topic, but for me, you are supposed to lose yourself. You're supposed to lose the previous you and turn into a different you. To me, I think it works for the better. Like, I didn't just lose Marissa and like old Marissa, I gained a new Marissa. So it's like I will never be the same I was before having a child, because I have a child now. It's just a different you, and I feel like you have to like learn to lean into that and not fight it. So I didn't really think people, like, when they talked about losing yourself, was like, I thought that was like maybe like a one-off thing, like only a couple people, but like I feel like we all do experience in a different way, and the way you think about it also affects the way you go through it. So I really tried to think about like, yes, I am losing her, but I'm gaining a new me, and this new me is so much better. So now let's talk about some mental load and overstimulation. I knew going into motherhood I would reach some of these points, because I do feel like I'm self-diagnosed like ADHD or OCD. So I do have these moments where I get very like overwhelmed and like a lot of thoughts just happening in my mind. So I kind of knew that was happening, but I didn't realize how fast it would just creep up on you, and you don't know it's gonna happen until you really just sit and you go like, oh wait, I'm actually like so overwhelmed right now. Even with a really good support team, like I had my family, my friends, my husband, everyone was here to help me. Still, in my own mind, I was going crazy with everything that I felt like I needed to do or perform to do, because again, I've always felt to be called to be a mom. So it's like I stepped into this journey willingly. So I always felt like I need to be perfect and to be able to handle it all, because like, hey, you chose this, you signed up for it, you shouldn't struggle and you shouldn't ask for help. That's how my brain was thinking anyways. So like really sitting there and thinking about how you can get overwhelmed, you can have a lot of mental load issues, and you can ask for help was something I needed to learn through my journey. That kind of leans into the other thing of the pressure to feel like you need to perform or be perfect at everything as a mom. Whether I feel like you chose the journey or it was a surprise, I feel like you still have a lot of pressure, or a lot of us women really have a lot of pressure to be the best mom ever. I heard this one statement on a podcast I was listening to. It was like a motherhood podcast, and it was like a doctor talking about if you're a mom and you're out here trying to get the information, you're listening to the podcast, you're reading books, you're watching YouTube videos, you're reading documents, you're reading case studies and stuff, just trying to learn, that you are already doing above and beyond right there. You could fail at other things, but the fact that you are trying to learn more to be a better mom means you already are a better mom. So I try to think about that, like, you are already doing enough by trying so hard to be enough, if that makes sense. It's something I'm like still working on, but you don't have to be perfect. Life isn't perfect. You'll never be perfect. Being a perfect mom doesn't exist. Your kid needs your love, care, and attention. As long as you're giving it, you are a perfect mom. So something else I want to open up about is actually I was diagnosed with postpartum anxiety, and I am currently being treated medically for it. Me and my doctors felt like that was best, and I've always struggled with anxiety. I think being postpartum really heightened the anxiety and then made me think, like, you know what, I really should speak to a doctor about that and see if we can figure anything out. So like I said, I am being medicated for it, and I feel like the medication is definitely helping a lot more than if I was just not on medication. But for me, like, the reason I felt like, okay, my postpartum anxiety actually is maybe a little intense was when I would get really anxious thoughts on my son being like left alone or even like sleeping. I had really bad anxiety on him sleeping. My anxiety around his sleep was really bad. Just SIDS and just all that, just my brain would not be quiet. I was losing sleep. Oh my god, I became like I had really bad insomnia, so I was up for like, even when he was sleeping, I was not sleeping because I just couldn't sleep. I was either watching him or staring at the roof while he's like next to me in the bassinet. So yeah, really bad postpartum anxiety. I had a lot of other just like issues with that too, but long story short, I am getting treated and medicated for it, and it's been helping. Something else I experienced through motherhood was dealing with a medically up and down child. I don't want to say like medically issued child, but if you guys have not been following along, Elijah actually has a peanut allergy, so we experienced that. That was a crazy moment as a first-time mom to experience. Ambulance was called, hospital visit, all of that had to happen. He's been going back and forth to allergist appointments to get that all tested. So yeah, severe peanut allergy. He has allergy to eggs, and he had really bad eczema. Probably around 3 months is when it started, and it was really bad, flaring, and I was stressing out because I suffer from eczema as an adult, and it already is annoying, but as a baby, I just felt like I couldn't help him. I felt so helpless. I'm so thankful and blessed that his eczema is gone, and we were able to control it with the help of our doctors and his allergist. And I'm hoping for now, like, he's probably gonna still have eczema through his life, but it's just very small flare-ups is what, like, kind of what I deal with, is small flare-up. I hope he never has big flare-ups like he had before. So yeah, I don't want to say medically challenged child, but like we did have a lot of ups and downs when it came to like the medical part of Elijah, especially because he was born, I should have said this in the beginning, he was born early, so he came at 36 weeks spontaneously. He just decided to come. I went into labor at 36 weeks and gave birth to him, so he didn't have any NICU time. He didn't have to stay in the hospital, but he did have some low blood sugar issues, so that kind of like off the bat started it for him. And I do want to take a moment to talk about like a lot of the positives through my motherhood journey, because like some of the things I just rambled about I feel like could come off as very negative through the journey, but I just wanted to be open and honest. Like, that stuff is real, that's what I was going through. But like positive wise, I like the blanket statement of my first year of motherhood, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I am blessed to be in Canada, that I had extended parental leave for 18 months. So I haven't even gone back to work yet, and I've just been able to really just enjoy the time with my son. And now that he's like a toddler, I can really think back about like all the little moments, all the up and down things that I thought were like life ending, like I'm never gonna get through it, and we got through it. It's like funny how in the moment you're just like, oh geez, this is just so much, but then you actually get through it and you're like, that was nothing. But yes, I really did enjoy my first year of motherhood. And my timing, because Elijah was born in the winter, like because in Southern Ontario, like January is dead winter, so I was able to do like my newborn like fresh postpartum in the house and not have to go outside for anything. And then by the time he got like big enough that I was like more comfortable taking him out, it was springtime, so it was like really beautiful weather. We were just going for walks and all that. And then when he got more mobile, like rolling over and like started his crawling, it was summer, so that was really fun. And then we went into Christmas, and then he turned 1, so like I think that timing was pretty good actually. And I actually had a couple of my friends go through motherhood for the first time as well around me, so I got to experience with my friends as well. And even my friends who aren't moms were really supportive and active in my journey of the first year of motherhood, so it was really fun to have them all around me, my siblings, because I have a lot of siblings. so all the aunties and aunts, and then my in-laws were amazing, are amazing, and they all loved their grandbaby. And yeah, it was just a really good experience overall for my first year of motherhood. All right, so I feel like I've rambled enough. I want to do a quick little rating of like the sections of postpartum and like my first year of motherhood. So like 0 to 3, I actually loved it. I loved the newborn stage. I didn't really get much sleep, especially because of the whole anxiety of me staying up all night, but he was just so cute. He was always on me. I loved it. He didn't cry much as a newborn. Like my sister even said, like, I never heard him really cry. He cries more as a toddler than he did as a newborn. So I really loved him as a newborn stage. I would say 3 months to 6 months was like not one of the best times for me. He just like got very, I feel like everything starts changing around 3 months, like his digestion changes, and we were having issues breastfeeding, so that was getting a little intense. He had a tongue tie, and that like was all getting kind of, all of that was happening around the 3 months mark when I was learning all that stuff. So, and yeah, his eczema started at 3 months. So 3 months to like 6 months was not my favorite time. And I mean, it wasn't the worst, but like I like newborn way more than 3 months to 6 months. And then I would say 6 months to 9 months was like pretty fun too. Like the summertime, that was like in the middle. It wasn't like my like newborn was still a favorite to me, but like it wasn't bad. And then 9 months to 12 months, that little boy, his attitude started coming out. He got a little bit more sassy. It was still a really good time, but I would say, yeah, a lot of really sassy there. So I think that's it for today's video of me rambling and just telling you guys about my first year of motherhood. I did go through a lot of ups and downs. If you guys want more videos like on certain details of this video, like breastfeeding or like pregnancy after loss and his eczema and stuff, I definitely can do dedicated videos to that. But I hope you guys enjoy this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.